Alrighty, so I mentioned in the last video that I was going to actually talk about a lot of satanic elements and how to do ritual, but for this video I actually want to do something really short and quick and talk about my first successful evocation of a demon and how that went. So the idea is, to some people, there's this idea that you need to use like 9-foot circles and the names of God. I would not recommend using any method like that in the ancient grimoires. If you come across any, do not use this method, because it is, for one, you're openly accepting that you have to abuse the spirit that you're trying to work with. So you're basically saying you want to piss this thing off, literally, because that's what the ritual is telling you to do. It's essentially saying, I'm going to create a situation where I'm pissing off a spirit to listen to me, and that's stupid. Anyway, the type of ritual I was going to do, which the type of 9-foot circle practice is based off of, the goetia. And the goetia is a system of 72 demons, 72 spirits of Solomon, which has been around for a good amount of time. There have been a lot of grimoires based off of the so-called what the key of Solomon is, and which one is the right one to use. Now, the very first spirit in the goetia is Baal, and not to be confused with Beelzebub, like Beelzebub, but Baal, the Sun King, worshipped by the Canaanites, worshipped Baal, the storm god, in the Middle East. Baal has also been, let's see, he's synonymous with a Sumerian deity, I think, if I'm thinking right. But anyways, Baal is seen as the Sun King, and he is said to grant invisibility and sort of type of understanding of specific sciences, something like that. But never, the idea you should keep in mind is never believe that any spirit can only do what the common description is. A spirit will always be capable of teaching you more. Now, my evocation, I did this when I was 13 years old, by the way, and just starting out with satanic practice back when I was used to that other Satanism that I used to do, but I don't do anymore. Now, I made a ritual, my own custom ritual. I took 4 candles, 4 white candles, set them in a square formation. Fucking chair's falling over. I set them in a square formation and placed in the center I believe it was the skull of the skull of something, like a donkey, possibly. I don't know. It was given to me as a gift. I forget what it was exactly, but it was a skull of something. Anyway, oh no, it was a deer skull. That's what it was. It wasn't actually mine. I don't think it might have been, but someone gave me it. Anyway, I put this in the center to be symbolized of just something. I wasn't expecting the deity to appear in the form of anything with horns or anything like that. The skull was there simply for the subconscious aspect, that primal, undiscernible aspect, the aspect that the conscious mind doesn't readily recognize, but the subconscious does, and knows the symbolism of it. So, I made up a ritual. I meditated there for about 5 minutes, and I began to say just some random chant and that I made up myself. It was really simple, and whenever I said Baal, I called to Baal, and then I think I also used the word Beelzebub, but I was primarily calling towards Baal, as in the Sun King. And I continued to say Baal in a really low, monotonous chant, like Baal, like that. And immediately, almost immediately, it surprised the shit out of me, but immediately the candles sizzled. Every single candle began to sizzle as if it was like just boiling onto, I can't even describe it. It was just boiling wax. I've never heard it before. It was just sizzling. And immediately the room felt like it had a cold air in it, like just this cold wind gust flowed through the room, and I felt it there. I wasn't able to communicate. I didn't communicate with it any further than that, whatever it was. But something showed up. That's all I have to say. Now this piqued my curiosity. I was like, well, if there's something here, give me some sort of sign of that. Like, and well, the candle sizzling was that sign. The working ended shortly after that. I didn't do anything else, but I would continue to experience psychic phenomenon throughout my life since then. One reason for me explaining this to you is because when you're in the early stages of evocation, there's the potential that if you do not close yourself off from that energy, that it will continue to, in a sense, follow you. Like remnants of that energy that was evoked will continue to follow you around and create some undesirable effects. And you see, I used to have seizures when I was younger, like way younger. So me doing anything in this practice was actually possibly not seen as the best idea. If magic was scientifically accepted, it would probably be labeled as do not do this because it can create a lot of electrical activity in your brain. I didn't care, and I did it anyways, and I got physical results that I could see. And some people will try to say, oh, well, maybe you were having a seizure and hallucinating. Well, I also hadn't had seizures in like 5 years at the time I did this ritual, so it's something else to take into account. Now, keep in mind, new people who are new to evocation, that whether you want to believe the entity is real, in a sense, or not, is up to you. Some people see the entity as being a manifestation created by your own mind, but it will still react to you as if it was its own being, because that's just how big the universe really is and capable of doing things. So if you see a being outside of yourself, just this entity appear, treat it with respect regardless. Do not be dismissive, try not to be frightened if possible, because you may get surprises. And most importantly, do not be demanding, because it's like you're trying to demand something from an aspect of yourself if you're seeing it in that light, whenever you already have manifested this representation of your will outside of you, and there's no need to demand anything in a rude manner from something that you manifested or helped manifest there. Now, I will not say that it's not possible for these entities to exist, but use discretion when working with them, if that makes sense, and differentiating between what could potentially just be you and what could potentially be something else that has latched onto your ritual energy and appeared there. Use a lot of discretion in working with your evocation. And so, on that note, I do not recommend evocation to people who have never done a simple spell or two. Or at least, if you're going to do evocation, make sure you meditate a lot to, well, I guess you don't have to. I shouldn't even say that. You know, whatever works for you, do it. And it's that simple. Because I didn't do a lot of things to prepare for evocation either. And here I am telling you this now, obviously, but not everyone can be as fortunate at times. I know there's a lot of chances for disaster. Do what works best for you, use discretion with working with entities, and always make sure you close yourself off from the ritual. As I mentioned earlier, the importance of forgetting about a ritual or a spell that you do, keep that in mind. And so, happy summonings. Have fun if you choose to evoke something, and I would recommend researching into some sort of evocation practice. If you're new to evoking things, then I would recommend the book Summoning Spirits by Constantinos. I know that's a pretty generic book. It can help you a lot with evocation and getting into the idea if you're new to evocation. That's just one suggestion. I will not say that's the best suggestion. Whatever works for you, do it. And have a nice day.